What's going on, everybody? Welcome back, guys. Justin here as always. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out with me today. I have no idea why I'm wearing this hat. It seemed like a good choice at the time, and we're just going to roll with it. Today, we're going to be talking about Sanctuary.
It would be a story. CEO shoves cotton swab into own penis when commanded. Denver dominatrix tells all.
I mean, when you say it like that, it makes it sound weird.
This is a movie that may have slid under your radar, and I just watched it recently, and it was awesome. So I want to kind of treat this video as a recommendation so that you know about it, or maybe if you just needed that little extra push to go check it out, you can check it out. I rented this off Amazon Prime. It was $5.99. This movie stars a couple. What really put this movie on my radar was the actors in the movie, the two main actors. There's only two actors in this entire movie. There may be a couple other actors here and there, but it's inconsequential. The movie is these two people. You have Christopher Abbott and you have Margaret Qualley. Now, Margaret Qualley was first put on my radar after seeing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Now, I'm in a weird time for myself. It's kind of interesting to see. Margaret Qualley is Andy McDowell's daughter. It's just so mind-blowing to me that all of these actors now that I used to watch growing up, all of their kids, there's like this explosion of Nepo babies, and now I'm seeing all of the children of all of the movies that I watched back in the day. You have Uma Thurman's daughter in Stranger Things. You have Lily Rose Depp, Johnny Depp's daughter, kind of blowing up now. And then there's tons. There's too many to mention. But then you have Margaret Qualley. Now, a lot of these Nepo babies have kind of varying degrees or arguable degrees of actual talent. Although I think there is some talent reached through just being involved in the business and osmosis through having super talented parents. But it's sort of a mixed bag. You have, you have your Margaret Qualleys, but then you also have your Chet Hanks.
Big up the whole island, massive. It's your boy Chetana, coming straight from the Golden Globes, you want to say? Me feeling Father Tom Hanks presenting in a what soon forward come. Big up, tune in.
You have that. But in the case of Margaret Qualley, she is, to me, is one of the most exciting actresses popping off right now. The fact that I love the Jenna Ortegas of the world, but somebody like Margaret Qualley, she has extremely good range and a very, very strong presence on screen. When she is in a scene, she steals it. That's just how she is. She has this incredible gaze in her eyes and this really playful nature. You know who she really reminds me of a lot? I kept thinking of Fairuza Balk. From The Craft. I could see her playing Fairuza Balk's character in The Craft. But then you also have Christopher Abbott. Both of these actors are continuing to move about their career, picking really interesting movies. When you look at the movies of Christopher Abbott, you have things like Possessor, It Comes at Night. You have Piercing, which was a personal favorite of mine. The Sinner. All of these movies, he's picking very specifically interesting projects that are challenging. And this movie is no different. Sanctuary is kind of a bottle movie. This could very easily be a play. This is one of those movies that just has a couple of characters. You put them in a room with a really interesting script and some actors and actresses who aren't afraid to just go crazy. And I really love these type of movies. They're basically a filmed play. The movie opens up with Chris Abbott. He's on the phone call. You think he's handling some business or doing some personal things. He gets a knock on the door. It's Margaret Qualley. He lets her in, and she's seemingly here to have him sign some papers. But you find out through the course of the movie that he has hired this person to play a role, and he's there to play a specific role as well. We're talking to the lines. There's a script, and it involves him sort of being dominated. She is in control, but it's not all this big sexual thing. What kind of drew me to this, aside from the actors, is it looked really interesting, and it also looks like it had some genre-bending horror type stuff. This is not a horror movie. This is a thriller suspense drama. It's a psychological suspense drama that plays out between two people with a very interesting dynamic. But as the movie goes on, you start to wonder how much of this is an act. Is this part scripted? Is this real? Are they interacting as real people now, or is this part of the game that they're playing? And that's kind of the dance that is this fine line the whole movie until the end, when you still don't quite know what is going to happen. And I love that about movies. Very rarely do you see a movie where you don't know what's going to happen next, or that you can't even predict. There was many moments with me and my buddy as we were watching this movie where, like, man, I am racking my brain. I could think of a couple scenarios where this might go, but I'm not sure. There's this kind of anything that could happen aspect to Sanctuary that I just absolutely loved. This movie also taps into a little bit of 90s erotic thriller vibe, although it's not a direct erotic thriller. This did have me thinking of movies like Basic Instinct or Indecent Proposal or things like that that just had the kind of schlocky, sleazy, sexual, erotic thriller vibe, but without the sex. It just had the same similar vibe. And I am just fully on board with Margaret Qualley. I see somebody like Jenna Ortega blowing up, and I don't see the same thing happening for somebody like Margaret Qualley, and she's, in my opinion, a far more talented actress. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to boil it down. I can't figure it out. I want Margaret Qualley to be a thing, and she's fantastic in this movie. So go check out Sanctuary. It's 100% worth shelling out a few bucks for a rental. So see Sanctuary with, what is it, Chris Abbott and Margaret Qualley. It's fucking amazing. This is the second feature by the director, Zachary Wigon, and he has a really interesting perspective. You could tell this guy is influenced by auteur directors with some of the weird sweeping and moving camera angles and some of the tracking shots, a little Kubrick here, a little Tarantino there, a little Sam Raimi. There's a little sprinkle of visual and camera movement flourishes that I really liked. It has a nice bright color palette because that's something you have to kind of, when you have a movie that takes place in one place, you also have to have it be at least somewhat visually interesting, and I found that this movie was. So check out Sanctuary. It's awesome, guys. I think we're done here. Stay weird. Remember to always be yourself, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.